It's time to get out to the Rude Guest Hotline. Rude, the most reliable heating and air conditioning products in the DMV. Welcome in Redskins legend Gary Clark. Gary, what's going on? How you doing?
Well, how you gentlemen doing today?
Hey, man, we're doing good. I was at the place that I think they say you were there yesterday. Did you go to the little flag football thing yesterday?
I did.
Yeah,
In
they were like
Bethesda?
he was asking me who I thought were like the best speakers and motivators on the team, and I was like, well, Gary Clark. He was here yesterday, and then I said Kendrick Ghost. Yep, he was here too. He's good. So I named the guys that I know that they have to pick from, and everybody I picked had been to one of those camps. Darnarian,
they do a good
Kendrick,
job.
you. I told him if you can get Rock Cartwright to start talking, he won't stop, but you got to get him started, you know? And he said, well, we're going to see how you are today. I was like, well, damn, y'all just put me on the spot. But it was fun, man. It was
fun. They do a good job with the kids.
Yes, they do. They do.
So, Gary, we wanted to talk to you about these uniforms that were released yesterday. It was fun seeing the gleam in BMitch's eye. I'm curious what your thoughts were when you saw these unis that were released that are kind of a throwback to that 80s and 90s era of the Redskins.
I'll tell you what, you can never go wrong with anything that happened with the Washington team in the 80s and 90s. So I'm a superstitious guy, so whatever's going to make you win football games, put it out there. I'm just that way.
Hey, when you go ahead, Jay.
No, go ahead.
Hey, so I was telling Toby, when I started looking through videos and stuff from that time, it's like we were in the white uniforms, the white jersey, I would say 85-90% of the time. And they wasn't just necessarily our home jersey. Hell, we was in them on the road and all the time too.
Joe's a little superstitious too. We won a lot more in those jerseys, so superstition goes across the board.
So,
oh man!
Obviously, you had a lot of success here in Washington. You saw Super Bowl victories. You were part of Super Bowl teams. What was it like to see this team after? I mean, for the first time in my life, this team won more than 10 games. This team went to an NFC Championship game. What was it like seeing this team get back to that level of football again last season?
It was great. It was awesome to see the change in the fan base. Like, we went from having like 50-50 fans in the stadium. By the end of the season, it was like 90 to 95% Washington fans in the stadium. And that's a huge benefit for your team, because there's nothing worse than playing at home and then you hear crowds, the other team do something good, and you hear the fans just roar. So for me, it was awesome to see that the burgundy gold was back to where it had been years ago, what me and BMitch was used to. I mean, we were just used to seeing. It was an everyday occurrence for us when we played. But to see that they got back to that and seeing that people were coming out, people were wearing more gear, people were really supporting the burgundy gold, because, winning allows you to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's cool just to see the fan base, because for me, I'm only 26 years old, and growing up, it wasn't
baby, Gary.
I didn't
get to see any of it.
No, I didn't. And so, my family indoctrinated me, and I'm glad that they did. But, a lot of my friends didn't grow up fans of this team, but it was cool to see for the first time really in my life that it was like you're walking around just going to the grocery store and people are wearing Jaden jerseys, and you're walking around and shopping, doing whatever, and you see people out in the burgundy and gold. It was cool to see that fan base kind of re-energized and see plenty of people that had left the team for one reason or another, whether it's because bad play or other stuff off the field. At least you're starting to see some of this fan base come back and be what it once was.
Oh, yeah, and you're going to see it in the players, how the players play as well, because there's nothing like having a 12th man, truly having a 12th man. And we haven't had that for a long time. We just haven't, unfortunately. But now, in the last year, we did have a 12th man, and it makes the players play better. I mean, I love playing at RFK when I was playing, so I know for the Redskins at Northwest Stadium and for the Washington Commanders at Northwest Stadium, they're going to feel that too, because there's nothing like showcasing what you do best in front of the people who appreciate it most. So, I mean, I'm excited about the year coming up. I'm sure that the team is, and I guarantee you the players are. I guarantee you they're going to play much better football than they had in the past. Winning cures a lot of things.
Oh yeah. You mentioned RFK and playing there and the possibility of them going back. Do you, in your mind, feel that this thing is going to happen, Gary? I know I do. I think we going through the hemming and hawing of politics, but I think ultimately at the end you'll have a stadium at that site.
I think so too. I mean, for the district itself, it's nothing but honestly, it's nothing but the support, especially the revenue that it's going to generate for the city itself. Just in those different weekends that happens for the stadium. Not to mention that I'm sure that they'll go bring entertainment portions to the stadium as well. So DC will get a much needed revenue boost. And I don't know how you can say no to that. And in terms of like fans, some fans will complain. It's one day out of the week,
mm-hmm.
and it's only 8 to 10 days out of the week,
mm-hmm.
out of the year. So I mean, I'm almost certain it has. I mean, we've been doing some, how do I put this? Politicking ourselves and supporting our different businesses,
lobbying, all the fun stuff,
and allowing them to see, I mean, what it means to have the excitement of their patrons. Just what with the alumni coming in and the excitement with their patrons. So imagine when you have these guys who play in the city now get to come. They'll come into DC more often as well. Just the players will come into DC more often now because it's the city that they play in.
One thing that you mentioned there is with the alumni and some of the relationship, talking with Gary Clark here on the Rude Guest Hotline. Obviously, we've heard BMitch's opinion and his experience and the difference in the change since ownership has changed in the relationship that the team has with the alumni. How have you felt that change?
Well, me and BMitch, we're pretty fortunate because of the way that we played. I mean, BMitch being the best return guy in NFL history, me being one of the more recognizable players back in Washington's heyday. We've always been treated pretty nice by. I've never been treated bad by anybody in the
and wouldn't let it happen.
So.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be, by the way.
I've always been treated extremely well by all the ownership that we have, from the Cooks to the Snyders to our current ownership. But there's something about the current ownership that gets everybody excited. Those guys are true gentlemen. They understand the pull that the alumni do have with the city, with the fans. They've been nothing but spectacular to all of us, so I'm a big fan of the current administration, but I really have nothing bad to say about the old administration either, because at the end of the day, players win football games, not management. Coaches help as long as they have a good strategy and a good philosophy, but players win football games. Like Brian Mitchell returns those punts and kicks, not the coach, not the owner, not the fans. So players win football games. Yeah. Let's not get it twisted. I hate when we start to blame other people when we lose. We lost against that Giants game in 1986 in that freaking championship game that I sucked in. They had nothing to do with me sucking. I sucked.
Uh-huh.
Ownership had nothing to do with it. Fans had nothing to do with it. I sucked out on that day. So, I mean, let's keep, it where it belongs. The players win football games. That's what they get paid to do. We get paid to do a job. If we don't do a job well, you can blame us, but you can't necessarily blame. You can't blame the ownership at all, because they really don't play. All they do is pay the players.
Yeah.
Well, there's one guy out there.
They pay the players.
There's a guy out there that's looking to get paid, which I think he should. I have a lot of respect for him, Terry McLaurin, a young man who been trying to get a new deal, an extension. Doesn't have guarantees on his contract right now. Your thoughts on Terry, as a player and, moving forward? Do you feel he deserves to get that?
I'm a big fan of Terry McLaurin. I mean, I think Terry is one of the best leaders that the organization has had in a long time. He lets his play do the talking a lot. You don't see him. He reminds me a lot of Art Monk, to be quite honest. He reminds me of Art. He has hands like Ricky, passionate about the game like me, but he doesn't he knows when to keep his mouth shut. He's not like me. He doesn't run his mouth to get anybody in trouble. So he's more disciplined than I was. But I literally think he may be one of the best receivers we've ever had in Washington. That's including me, Ricky, Art, Charlie, Bobby Mitchell. It's including Charlie Brown. It's including all the guys that play there. Like, he could hold his own with all of us. And I'm hoping that they get something worked out, because I think he is a true, even at his age, he's not showing aging, his game is continually going up. You don't see his game going down at all. So I hope they get something worked out. Because I think he is a true asset to our offense. I think him and Jaden, you could see their chemistry is off the chain. That's what comes down with pretty much anything. If it touches his hand, he's coming down with it.
There you go.
And that's, when you have like a 95 to 98% touch rate, they touch the ball, you come down with it 95 to 98% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to argue with. I don't care what age you are, and I think he's one of the best receivers in the league today. And I think he'll probably be one of the best receivers in the league for the next 3 to 5 years, if not longer.
Gary, I got to ask you.
He takes great care of himself.
Sorry to cut you off. Got to ask you, though, on the way out here. You were teammates with the man to my right for a couple of seasons, I believe 3 seasons. What's your best Brian Mitchell story?
What?
Which one? I think the best one that I've had is seeing him as a rookie in training camp. We're in training camp, and this guy's, we come in, he's a quarterback, So I've never seen a quarterback quite honestly act like BMitch before in my lifetime. They typically don't try to have any controversy. They definitely never want to fight anybody. BMitch's rookie training camp, he wanted to fight everybody, and won most of them. He even fought Jumpy Gathers, and I don't know anybody who wanted to fight Jumpy Gathers, but BMitch did not back down from him. I think what people love most about BMitch is he's 100%. He's 100% all day long, every day, any day, 100% effort. 100%, you better bring it, because he's bringing it 100% all the time. Practice, he's bringing it 100%. Games, he's bringing it 100%. So you can try to go in there at 50%, he's going to smash your ass. So excuse me, I'm sorry, I'll say ass on the radio.
But, that's one you can say. I use it all the time.
He is the closest thing to me in terms of personality that I think the Washington team's ever had. I think his personality surpasses mine, and I had a big one. I think his surpasses mine. But it comes out in his numbers. Numbers don't lie.
100%. Gary?
Numbers just don't lie. And what gets me, though, because I was a return guy throughout my whole career, pretty much, from high school, from youth league to high school to college, the all-purpose guy. And for BMitch to come up there, never in his life return a kick or a punt in his life, and have that immediate success and then longevity success, that's unheard of. That's why that gentleman definitely belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame without question. Unfortunately, they just take their time in putting special team guys in, but without question, he is the best I've ever seen do it, and I've seen a lot do it. And he's the best I've ever seen do it.
Well, Gary, appreciate the time, man. And if it makes you feel any better, BMitch still is ready to fight anybody around here anytime.
100%. I know that already. That's why I was like, I never gave him any crap as a rookie. I was like, he's crazy. I was like, that rookie's crazy. I'm gonna leave him alone. I ain't gonna make him sing. I'm not gonna make him do anything. I was like, he's crazy. I'm leaving him alone.
But Gary, appreciate the time, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, G. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great day.
You too, brother.
Absolutely.
Peace,
That's
man.
Washington legend Gary Clark on the Rude Guest Hotline.